Hello everybody and welcome back to another War Thunder video, and this is probably going to be my last video for a while. I've been working a lot, so I apologise for my lack of content uploads recently, and I'd also like to apologise for my rant regarding the XM1C. Basically, I don't take back any of what I said. I still hold the same opinion. However, the difference is I'm not entirely sure I worded it very well, so I apologise for that. Moving on though, we're going to have a look at H1Z1. Now, this game has been out on PC for quite a while as far as I'm aware, and in and of itself has its own story to tell. This may be a completely different game, but if I recall, H1Z1 released a fair while ago on PC under the name H1Z1, and Total Biscuit covered it. Rest in peace, by the way. He passed away few hours today, I think about 8-10 hours ago, something like that, from his stage 4 cancer, which finally took his life. It was inevitable that it was going to happen eventually, but I have nothing but respect for a man who is suffering from stage 4 cancer and still manages to upload videos to his YouTube channel for the sake of his 2.2 million subscribers. So, yeah. Right, moving on. With that out of the way, basically H1Z1 I believe released on PC and got so much backlash for basically being a massive pile of crap full of microtransactions that was just trying to leech money off of people. The Steam pulled it, and within a few months it was back up on Steam again under a new name, though for the life of me I can't remember what that name was. It was originally kind of like DayZ in the sense that you spawn, you get to go around the place killing other survivors or looting people and all this sort of stuff. Now, however, it seems to be back, only this time it's as a Battle Royale game. Now, I have played Fortnite. I've not done any footage of it because I'm crap. And my brother plays it a lot, so I'm not unfamiliar with Fortnite. However, Fortnite is a bit too arcadey for me personally. I kind of like the idea of having a backpack and an inventory system and aiming down the sights with weapons rather than third person and all this sort of thing. And I played this game yesterday. All of this is footage from my first ever time playing the game. I've dropped in, gotten myself a shotgun and a couple of other bits and pieces, a motorcycle helmet, some makeshift body armor, and a pickup truck. And now I'm chasing a guy in a cop car and a guy on a quad bike. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the idea of Battle Royale games as a genre in and of itself. Not that I have anything against it, it's just that you tend to prefer things that you're good at, and I'm not very good at stuff like this, if I'm being entirely honest. But basically, this is a first look video for H1Z1 on the PS4, of course. Of course, if I wanted to play these games, post-apocalyptic kind of survival things like DayZ, then I could play it on PC. I have a PC. It's what I use for sorting out the description on my YouTube channel, on my YouTube videos, and all this, that, and the other. But it's also a massive pile of dog shit and won't run anything past maybe Call of Duty 2. It'll run Call of Duty 2 very well, but that's about it. And Red Orchestra 2, which I played quite a lot of, but I digress. Basically, this game came out a few days ago, and I figured, screw it, I'll give it a look and see what I think of it. So far, I'm actually reasonably impressed. The game gives you the ability to select your character, more or less. You can choose from a bunch of different preset character designs, different haircuts, different skin tones, different body builds, male, female, etc, etc, etc. And then you just jump in and start shooting people. That's all it really boils down to. There are microtransactions in the game, as you would expect, but I was well aware of that when I got into this in the first place. But the ability to aim down the sights and fire in first person, as well as use vehicles, is something that Fortnite lacks. Of course, you could argue that this is basically just a straight copy of, what's it fucking called? PUBG. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Basically a straight copy of that, with crappier graphics, which we'll get onto in a minute, and no building system like there is in Fortnite. Fortnite separates itself from its competition by being, well, from looking completely different and having different assets. Like the plane that drops you in PUBG is just a plane. It's not relatable to Fortnite other than the fact that you know that it's in the game Fortnite. Whereas the battle bus that drops you in PUBG, sorry, I mean, not Fortnite. Whereas the battle bus that drops you in Fortnite is Fortnite's battle bus. It's not like unmistakable. It's definitely Fortnite's battle bus, if you see what I'm getting at here. This game is of course free to play and will basically support itself with said microtransactions that I mentioned earlier. And to be quite honest, I'm actually really enjoying it. Like I said, I've played Fortnite once or twice and I've watched my brother play it a lot, and I couldn't really get into it. The building mechanics made it difficult for me. I'm not a particular, for the people out there who loved Minecraft and continue to love Minecraft, then I'm sure the building essence of it was fantastic for them. But for me, not so much. In the sense of building things in, for example, I don't know, DayZ is the best example I can think of. You build a base that you stay in for as long as you live, whereas in Fortnite you build shelters and pieces of metal and stuff to protect yourself from being killed. It's a completely different set of how to do it, and H1Z1 ditches that idea entirely, or at the very least it just doesn't include it. Now this is the third match I played and also the match I did the best in. You also get crates that drop from the sky, as they do in Fortnite and PUBG, which contain better loot, such as an AK-47, which of course I immediately picked up. And a lot of these weapons have sights on them as well. The submachine gun I was using earlier doesn't have sights on it, the pistols don't have sights on them, the shotguns don't have sights on them. But you can get upgraded versions in said boxes and picked up of dead bodies that have found them in these boxes, which do have better sights. Which is nice. It's a little bit more interesting. It helps you aim better if you're like me and you can't aim for crap. So yeah, I rather like that idea. Using the scout rifle here. I haven't figured out how to zoom in with the scope on the scout rifle yet. That's something I've yet to figure out. But the whole change viewpoints based, change perspective when aiming down the sights thing is not uncommon. I mean, that was in GTA, I think, if I remember rightly, GTA 5. But then you could play that in first or third person as well. It always feels kind of awkward. Sometimes it throws your aim off a bit. It would be nice to be able to select a perspective you want to play from, first or third person, and stick with it. Which is what I'm looking for here in the controls menu. And there isn't anything. You can't do that. So if they would patch something like that in, that would be great, but I'm not hopeful, if I'm honest. This is one of the best kills I've gotten in the game so far. Somebody decides to drive straight towards me in their police car. I, of course, begin to shoot at them with my AK, as you would. I do like the fact that if you hold aim down sights whilst reloading, it zooms out of the sight and lets you see the reload animation. I really like that. Can you see here? And it's quite well detailed considering how the rest of the game looks. So let's get on to the graphics. It's subpar. War Thunder looks better than this running on my PS4, and in all honesty I kind of expected more. Fortnite will age well due to the fact that it's a cartoony design. This will look like crap in about 2 years, if not less. Which is saying something, considering I can load up Call of Duty 2 on my PC right now, and it will look almost as good as World at War did on PS3. Now that's saying something. A game almost a decade apart from the alternative looks almost as good on my PC as it did playing World at War on my PS3. This is all subjective, of course. My first thought when I jumped into this game was, Jesus Christ, these graphics are appalling. But within the first 5 minutes, I'm within my first kill and getting my first vehicle, which are plentiful, by the way. You don't have to repair them or anything. They are just lying about the map. I actually rather enjoyed it. and that enjoyment basically just allowed me to completely ignore the graphical fidelity issues entirely. The pop-in is kind of horrendous, especially when parachuting in at the beginning of a match. The character models look okay, the vehicle models look okay, the weapon models, when reloading in first person like I was with the AK earlier, look pretty good actually. But the environment itself and the textures of the environment are bland, and the pop-in is horrible, and it just looks a bit bleh. Speaking of the map, it's not very big. You won't have actually seen the map yet. I might get the map out in a minute or so and look at where I am on the map. But you spawn in and the green circle is already around a certain area, and 9 times out of 10 you will spawn in above that circle. So your chances of being outside of the gas, because it's a gas in this game rather than the spawn, like it is in Fortnite, chances of you being outside the gas is rather slim. I have no problem with that. But it may be because you get vehicles which allow you to transport yourself around the map faster, or the map is genuinely small, as in quite small. At this point in the match, there are 31 players left. I've only got 1 kill, but look at how small the circle is. It's freaking tiny. Now, you could go, oh, when you're being a camper and you're sat in a corner, and well, yeah, because I haven't been playing this game for very long, and I don't particularly want to get my ass handed to me. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of Battle Royale games anyway. The only reason I'm covering this is because I thought it'd be a little bit more interesting for some of you. Make a difference from my normal War Thunder and Dirt Rally content. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to start doing a series or a playlist on these games, on this game in particular, I should say. That's unlikely. Unless I get a fantastic match that I want to cover, chances are that won't happen. However, if you would like to see something that involves this game, you know, a playlist or something like that, let me know. But unlike in War Thunder, where you can select a different vehicle, air, ground, different game mode, arcade, realistic, sim battles, this is going to be very, very samey every time I do a video on it. So that's the only reason I'm sort of not so fond of that idea. But like I said, let me know in the comments, see what you think. There are now 25 people remaining, and the circle is getting even smaller. Now, I can only assume the reason there are this many people left and the reason the circle has shrunk that quickly this early on is probably because a lot of those 25 people will die in the gas. They won't get to the circle in the first place. But then they don't really have much of an excuse for that, considering they can find a vehicle reasonably easily. The gas does get more potent as the match goes on, and the longer the match goes on, the more potent the gas gets, meaning you die faster when you're left inside of it. I've only been stuck in the gas once, and my health was ticking down one health point maybe every 2 seconds, 3 seconds or so. I can only assume that when you're in the gas at this point of the game, your health is going to tick down a hell of a lot faster. So let's continue talking about the match, because I've pretty much covered everything else. The graphics aren't fantastic, but the gameplay is solid, and the gunplay feels pretty meaty actually, considering it's a free-to-play game. I wasn't expecting this level of gunplay elegance, for lack of a better word. The guns feel heavy, they hit hard, especially the shotgun. The recoil on the AK-47, as you would have seen earlier, as well as the yes, I shat myself at that point. Yeah, the recoil and stuff on the guns is pretty impressive. It's not click and shoot, it's not that simple. You do actually have to compensate for recoil and things like that, which I like, is good. It makes it a little bit more skill based rather than luck. At this point in the match, I should say, we still have 20 players left, and look at how small the circle is. You could not swing a cat inside of it. So, yeah. I have about 1 minute 50 seconds of video left, so I am considering lying here and just waiting it out until the circle shrinks again. Yeah, look at that. Look at it, man. You've got to be taking the piss. There's no way on earth I'm going to survive inside the circle. Not at this point in the match. If 19 people suddenly decide to go inside that cap circle, it's going to be a Call of Duty free-for-all match inside of a 20-foot circumference circle. It's just stupid. So, I bide my time, I hide behind the rock and my truck, and I keep an eye out. I'm in absolutely no rush to go running about anywhere. I'm more than happy just to sit here and relax. At least for now. Until I spot somebody out in the open and think, ooh, experience. Sniper rifle out. Take a shot, hit him in the legs, take another shot, completely miss. Completely miss again. That one was low, that one was left. Come on, red, for God's sake, that one was right and low. And then he gets taken out. Back in the truck. Now is a good time where I decide to exit and immediately run into a barrier. That could quite easily have gotten me killed. All vehicles in the game seem to have nitrous, by the way. I've no idea why. I don't know what they were thinking when they thought of that, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this first look at H1Z1. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will be back on Monday, hopefully be able to do content, but my family is off, as am I, which is the only reason I have a week off next week, so we'll have to see. Anyway guys, I will see you in the next one. Like, share and subscribe for more, and I hope you have a nice weekend. Cheers!